No one knew what was going on. And this is the reason why. It started on Thursday night. The Brisbane Lions are playing on against Collingwood. And let's have a listen with Harris Andrews.
50, Goose. Arms out's 50, mate. Time on. Thanks, Dan.
Arms out's 50. OK. Arms out's 50. Whether you like it or not, you go, righto, that's what it is.
It wasn't last week.
No, it wasn't. And it wasn't the week before. It was in week 1. But when you hear that on Thursday, first game of the weekend, you go, hello.
Has there been a crackdown?
There's the crackdown. Oh. No, maybe Brad Scott said, hey, let's get back to what
Rule of the week.
Then you watch this. And you watch what unfolds over the course of the weekend. Have a look at this one. Holman holds it out and keeps holding them out and walks at the umpire and holds them out. This is only 2 days later. And you're going, hang on a minute, didn't I hear an umpire say, arms out 50? What's this? Arms out 50. No, it's not. So what are we supposed to do as commentators who are supposed to relay the messages to the people at home? What's this? What's arms out 50? And then we got this today. Gunston and Mitchell having a nice chat with the umpire about a decision, and then the arms go out and he pulls the 50 button. OK. Brad needs to talk and he needs to speak really strongly tomorrow. And if this is it, then this is it. Because right now it's embarrassing that our professional competition is run like this.
That's not on the players.
No.
That's on the umpires for applying the rule inconsistently.
I don't blame the players one bit because George Hewitt goes, hang on, I did it against Port Adelaide and I didn't get called, so don't call me the next one.
So the AFL are trying to force players to respect umpires.
Well, encourage.
Force. They're trying to force players to respect the umpires, yet you get that level of inconsistency, and one umpire wants to pay 50 for this.
Well, because he probably thinks that's what he's supposed to do. Arms out 50. He said it. He said arms out. In our rule book, we've been instructed to give 50
So what are the other umpires?
Well, they're not doing their job then, that's the case, Nick. Is that the case?
That is absolutely the case. You're right, Nick, and you're right, Gary. So the message from AFL House could not be stronger tonight, that if a player puts their arms out in a demonstrative fashion, that will be 50 metres. Now, if a player is not penalised, well, the AFL umpires will be told you should penalise that player. So Harris Andrews was correctly penalised. George Hewitt was incorrectly allowed to put his arms out. No 50-metre penalty. All of those examples across the weekend.
Bad decision.
That's correct. And so Brad Scott will be speaking to the umpires. It gets to that through what the AFL is calling slippage. You or I are calling massive inconsistency. The AFL has conceded today that there was some slippage from rounds 2 to 4. I know we're having fun at it, but that is why it's so impossible to umpire.
We're not having fun of it because it's embarrassing for everyone.
I understand, Gary. So what the AFL is saying is that they're getting reports back from senior coaches who go to community football, who go to country football, and there is a greater level of respect between umpires and players. That's why it's worth it. So the umpires need to nail the execution. Now, a lot of people would say this wasn't what the rule was, this wasn't how it was brought in. Remember that Tom McDonald, Christian Petracca free kick in the Amy series. Petracca was upset. Tom McDonald put his arms out to the umpire and demonstratively complained. So the AFL would say it's always been the rule. I think the better argument is to say, can it stand up in the heat of battle? It clearly couldn't today when Tom Hawkins dived forward in something he will be fined for, and the players naturally just said, that's not a free kick. So whether we can implement it correctly in the heat of the moment, I doubt it. But they're saying that's what the rule is. We've slipped. We're going to get back there next week and from every round on until the grand final.
Has it been reaffirmed before this round, though? Because it seems as if there was more of those penalties paid for umpire disrespect.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I just think the umpire took a really correct stance in the Harris Andrews situation, and from then on the AFL wanted to reaffirm it rather than say, well, you're right, we probably haven't paid, let's call it 80 free kicks in the previous 3 weeks.
I'm not being a smart. I want to get to the bottom of this because I think it's important that umpires are respected. So, umpire watches that game on Thursday night, who's umpiring in the Saturday, the Gold Coast game, and hears that. What's he thinking? Is he looking at that umpire and going, what are you doing, mate? Well, because when I'm in that position, I'm not paying that.
But wasn't that the rule initially? Wasn't the AFL telling all of those umpires, it's so obvious because you put your arms out at 50 metres?
That's right. And he would have heard him and that was replayed and you heard the voice and everyone was talking about it. So if you're an umpire, you're going, oh, yeah, that's right.
Is it a rule that just is not going to stand up, though? So can you put your hands to your face?
I think you can express emotion towards yourself. Right, you can't turn it to the umpire.
So you can do it to your face but not out. So how's it going to stand up on grand final day?
Well,
don't put your arms out. Pretty simple.
Think about that final where Luke Shuey, let's call it, deliberately ducked, and all of a sudden all of those Port Adelaide players put their hands up because they're just about to lose a final. Imagine that being marched back to the goal line. You lose a final like that. So I understand what the AFL's trying to do. I'm not sure that it stands up to the heat.
What are you screwing your face up for?
Because it's not going to stand up.
But we said at the start of the season this won't work because the players will mouth off. They stop mouthing off like that.
They stop mouthing off. They're like
off.
Swearing at umpires is
mouth
not
off.
acceptable.
This has been ingrained in our behaviour culturally for a long time. So I don't think the AFL would think it's going to change in 5 weeks. Obviously, they want to get to gold standard, to rugby union standard. I'm not sure whether they're going to have to start calling the umpire sir or not, but this will take some time just to get through.
Don't throw your arms out.
Arms out, Gary.
Don't throw them out.
Gary, are you happy if arms out is a 50-metre penalty and it is umpired correctly all the way through the year?
I don't really care, but if they're saying this is a sign of dissension, then pay it. Because you can't have a competition where you go, hang on, you've come in from outer space, you go, hang on, I watched that guy and I heard the bloke in the green say that's a free kick, and then I saw 15 instances of it, no one paid it.
So we need Brad down there at umpires training tomorrow, lecturing every umpire because the players...
To be cleared up.
Yep.
Cleared up for the players too, because James Sicily had no clue.
No, I
spoke to him.
He's an arms-out champion, this man, mate. You could make a good cricket umpire. I don't
care. You can have arms, you can have hands in your face, just as long as it's consistent across the board. Righto, keep on, Ralphie.